Good evening. Welcome to our Wednesday, April 12, 2017 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news this evening, new 3-lane bridge proposed for the Demerara River, new facility underway for Region 2 to tackle maternal morbidity and mortality, and final rung of European Union forest law enforcement governance and trade negotiations set for June. These and other stories when the news returns. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta LaFleur. Here are the details. A 3-lane high-level design is being considered for the new Demerara River Bridge. Details in this report. Last November, the government announced that the Dutch company Levinsco will conduct the feasibility study for the new Demerara River Bridge. While discussing the preliminary findings for the first phase of the feasibility study, traffic expert Levinsco, Jacqueline Mose, says a 3-lane design is up for deliberation since it would ease traffic flow in the area.
On a 3-lane bridge, I would have the option to do the double-lane opening that you do now, but still make it possible for people to do the counterflow. So you would have exactly the same system as now. You would have in the morning a double-lane opening. It's just that because you don't stop the traffic on the other side, they can still travel in the morning from the east bank to the west bank. You wouldn't get that block up that you've got now at the entrance.
Mose explains that during the study it was discovered that traffic on the bridge has increased significantly, especially since the economy is growing. She says during the day the route where the current bridge is located is plagued with heavy traffic, therefore the Houston to Versailles route is under consideration for the construction of the new bridge.
I calculated the travel time between putting the bridge at Houston and the bridge at Peters Hall. And because of the amount of people moving up and down and all the variables I put in my model, it doesn't significantly differ the travel time if we put the bridge a bit more north or if we keep the bridge at its current location.
Back in 2013, the Demerara Harbour Bridge, in collaboration with the Central Transport Planning Unit of the then Ministry of Public Works, conducted a pre-feasibility study. That study concluded that a fixed high-level bridge was the best option to pursue. The Minister of Public Infrastructure says the new bridge would lead to some land acquisition, but consultations will be made.
At some point in time, there will have to be some land acquisition for which, if should we proceed, whichever option there is a varying degrees of land acquisition. It's unfortunate, but it is something that we have to do for the greater good. I do expect that anybody whose home or property that may be affected would obviously feel aggrieved. We will obviously have consultations with them whenever that final decision is made.
The feasibility study commenced on January 15 and is expected to be completed in July this year. The incidence of maternal morbidity and mortality is expected to be reduced in Region 2 as a new facility is being built. Delon Sanko has the details.
In an interview with the Government Information Agency, Gina, the Regional Health Officer, Region 2, Pomeroon to Panam, Dr. Farah Khan says that in their capital project for 2017, the construction of a maternity waiting home for high-risk pregnant mothers is being prioritized. Dr. Khan explained that this is one of their major projects since it will give them a better opportunity to monitor high-risk pregnancies.
We're looking to have them in our facility where we can actually monitor them until they deliver and we say they're safe to go back home.
Dr. Khan says once these high-risk patients are identified, it will help to reduce maternal morbidities and mortalities.
We would have our doctors identify or our midwives identify these high-risk patients. And so they will refer them to our high-risk clinic, which we have every Thursday at Suddy. And from there, the specialist decides who stays, who needs monitoring and evaluation. And so we keep a close check on these patients so that we can have no maternal deaths.
This project is expected to cost $28 million and has a completion deadline for May 2017. Delon Sanko for the Government News Brief.
A team from the Guyana Forestry Commission will be traveling to Belgium to finalize negotiations for the European Union Forest Law Enforcement Governance and Trade Initiative. Zanil Williams has the details.
The EU FLECT, through a voluntary partnership agreement, VPA, seeks to certify Guyana's forest products for export to the EU. Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman says this agreement is to be finalized in July.
We are in the final stages of negotiations with the European Union, and I met with the chief negotiator about 2 weeks ago, and a large team is to leave Guyana, I believe, around July this year for Brussels to conclude this agreement.
Minister Trotman notes that Guyana was unable to finalize the agreement last year because of internal issues in Brussels. A national technical working group has since been established and conducted engagements with stakeholders to build public education awareness of the EU FLECT and the VPA. Earlier in the year, Commissioner of the Guyana Forestry Commission, James Singh, had noted these are tenets of the agreement.
Voluntary partnership agreement is not only a timber trade agreement. It's also about improving legality, therefore reducing illegality, improving forest governance.
The agreement, once finalized, will have tremendous benefits for stakeholders in the forestry sector by opening up more lucrative markets. Zanil Williams reporting for the Government News Brief.
The electricity grid in the town of Anna Regina in Region 2 is set to receive a major boost by the third quarter of this year. Gabriela Patram tells us more.
With major upgrades taking place to the capital city's electricity, the town of Anna Regina is not being left behind. A new generation unit for the Guyana Power and Lights station in the county is expected to arrive before the end of 2017. Generation engineer for Region 2, Lindsay Shepard, says that there are currently 2 generation sets in the region. One at Anna Regina, which houses 3 units, and a temporary set at Fairfield with 2 units. Shepard says that the plants are aged, existing beyond their lifespan of 20 years. He said electricity distribution in the region can be challenging sometimes, especially when the power company would have to manufacture parts for the plants in the event of disruptions.
New plan is to build a new plant that should be commissioned sometime around the last quarter of this year.
So have any works started in?
Yes, in fact, as far as I know, we would have already procured the units. Right, it's just a matter of actual construction actually started.
The generation engineer notes that government is moving apace to have it in the region as soon as possible. He says the delay is due to the change of supply of units from Wärtsilä to the Power Producer and Distribution Incorporated (PPDI). Towards the end of 2016, Anna Regina experienced long hours of blackout with 2 of the 3 generating units were unavailable due to unexpected mechanical failures. One of the 2 units was operating at reduced capacity. Shepard says when the power plant is provided before year-end, the power company would be in a better position to distribute electricity in the region.
The biggest challenges for us here is because of the fact that the units are old units. They would have expanded their lifetime. So we find all issues, mechanical, electrical issues. So there isn't one problem to point your finger at. Generally because of the age of the units, right? And that was the main reason they would have decided to build a new plant, because of the age of the units.
So what are some of the challenges you would normally experience?
Let's say in terms of parts, due to the age of the units, if something should go down now, like a major part, we wait, in one instance it took like about 3 weeks. To get the because we actually had to manufacture the part that is still from Switzerland, because it's an old unit. So those are some of the serious challenges we face. Other than that, once there's an issue, we would normally get the unit up and running within 2 days, because it's basically manpower. But once spares is involved, it will take a longer time.
Communities including Charity and Sadi are among the list of communities soon to benefit from electricity distribution. Shepard says within another year, those areas will be linked to the grid. For the Government News Brief, Gabriela Patram.
The Region 5 administration continues to work towards eliminating drug shortages caused by double dipping. Neola Damon reports.
Regional Health Officer RHO, Dr. Stephen Shavun, says that the administration will be implementing an inventory software system which will eliminate drug shortages. This system is a part of the Hospital Management System, HMS, which was implemented last year by the administration.
We have decided to attack the problem of double dipping that had existed in the regions. One of the problems why you would experience a problem with drugs is because we have one patient going to multiple health facilities and collecting drugs at all the health facility. For purposes maybe hoarding or purposes maybe they fear there will be a shortage, so they feel they need to stock up.
The RHO notes that the administration will also install the electronic drug tool into the hospital system this month to eliminate double dipping.
This drug tool will eliminate completely this issue of double dipping because it will have the essential drug list on it, and it works something similar to the essential to the inventory software what we have in the stores, but it deals with drugs rather than that. Now, how do we track all of the patients that we have in the region? We do not know all of the patients we have in the region, and people can still double dip. What we have designed a program where our community health workers will go out into the community and perform something we will call a health census.
The health census will assist the administration in forecasting the amount of drugs needed for the region. Neola Damon for Government News Brief.
We have come to the end of today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on GINA's website. We encourage you to subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. You can also like and follow us on Facebook to be updated as the news unfolds. Remember to join again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Renetta LaFleur. Thank you for watching.